Well, let me just make one recommendation based on my MIT experience. You know, MIT does research worth about $500 million a year. And the center that we have there spends roughly about $2.5 million a year. So it's 0.5%. 0.5% of the research money is being spent on actually doing research, but it really focuses on connecting that $500 million worth of research to the real markets and the real issues. So I hope the government will take 0.5% of that $50 billion that they spend every year, and maybe a little bit more this year, and really use that money to connect the venture capitalists, the entrepreneurs, the practitioners in the industry to that $50 billion worth of innovation that we are going to spend the money on.
And I'll agree with both of them that frankly those should be our first two. And because of Desh, we completed a report analyzing the outcome of the Deshpande Center and the Von Liebig Center. So that's available online. It's an evaluation of proof of concept models. It provides data on the outcomes. And so this isn't a suggestion without data. There is plenty of data. And the only third one that I will add is if we're going to throw money at things, if we're going to, say, increase the SBIR budget, if we're going to increase the NIH translational medicine budget, let's make sure that that comes with thoughtful education, and that if, in fact, we're putting a bunch of new money into early stage entrepreneurs, that we're surrounding them with appropriate innovation and commercialization education, so we're not just throwing money away.
You know, I think in these difficult times, entrepreneurs come out of the woodworks. You know, a lot of it is because entrepreneurship is all about, you know, taking a big gamble and taking that risk. But in a economic crisis like this, that risk doesn't look that big. You know, it's a very natural thing. A lot of times, you know, people become entrepreneurs because you're back against the wall. So we should just massively stimulate entrepreneurship right now, I think.
And to give that example, on Friday of last week, The Economist had a full section on the role of entrepreneurs globally. And I think the message from this, Adrian, the author, came and met with us last October and said, we believe timing is going to be right to put this section out and tell us where the most entrepreneurial places are in the world. And he went with us to India, where Carl Schramm, our CEO, and Desh were meeting with a group of 1,700 entrepreneurs. That's what you call scale entrepreneurship at its finest. But ultimately, as you read this, what you're going to see and what you're going to hear in this article is the United States is still the most entrepreneurial place on the planet. There's a lot of innovation going on everywhere. And so what we have to do right now is make sure that all of the entrepreneurs and all of the VCs and people who are supporting this ecosystem are reaching out to Washington and pushing policy, as Kurt said, that is appropriate, appropriate regulations, not over-regulations, that will be in support of continuing the phenomena that the rest of the world believes we started and we still own. So we can continue to own it. If we don't, frankly, it's ours to screw up at this point.